All right, so we're just gonna kick this thing off, and hopefully everybody that I'm letting in the waiting room, if I don't know their name, I'm letting them in because I'm assuming they're one of Shay's leaders. We'll see how this goes. So first things first, a couple of announcements that I wanted to kind of talk about is number one, prelims came out today. So some of you were super hyped about your prelims, and some of you were like, wah, wah. So I want to remind you that your prelims are not just a reflection of what you did last month, but also a reflection of what you've done for the last 3 months. And so I want you to use that as fuel. If you're like, that is not where I wanted my check to be, use that as fuel to say, in the next 3 months, I'm going to make my paycheck look different because I'm going to take control of that, because you do get to control your paycheck. So you're going to take control of that and you're going to make that different. And then the other thing that I wanted to say is, if you are excited about your paycheck, don't get to the point where you're just thinking, oh, well, I can just chill and I can just sit here and I don't have to do anything because I'm happy, I'm content. Last week on my leader Zoom, I talked about how success is sometimes one of the biggest barriers to future success is current success. And so you just get complacent and you start to just like where you're at and you don't shoot for more. So I want to encourage you to dream bigger, Yeah, Kayla said satisfaction leads to failure, and that's so true. So don't get complacent, but if you are pissed about your paycheck, good, be pissed and let it fuel you, because I've been frustrated about my checks in the past and I did something about it and they changed. So you get to do that and talk with your teams and remind them like, hey, you can get fast starts to get that paycheck up really quickly. You can also personally enroll a bunch of people, help them go Ruby. That's also going to boost your paycheck. Remind them that the average incomes at the ranks that they're hitting are the average of somebody that's been there for 6 months. So if they're getting their first Emerald paycheck and they're not satisfied, it's not average. Remind them that the longer that they stay there and the more that they go Diamond, then they're not going to have to worry about those lower paychecks. And so get everybody to Diamond. If you're not a Diamond on here, you want to go Diamond because it unlocks the whole compensation plan. That's the bottom line. So anyways, I always love the 8th of the month, but I always have to have these conversations because I just want to remind you, like, you're here for the long run and this paycheck does not determine where you're going in this business. Okay. So I want you to keep that long vision and that long-term focus and don't get distracted by what did or didn't happen this month, whether good or bad. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is Winner Circle. Who's excited about Winner Circle? That's the ranch. If you didn't know, I just call it the ranch. So Shay was like, are you excited about Winner Circle? I was like, what's that? She was like, the ranch. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I'm excited about the Winner Circle. So they're calling it the Winner Circle. You're going to have tons of winners for this, but there's also a lot of people in the company. But here's what I want you to realize. What we're going to talk about tonight is counting yourself in. We don't want you to count yourself out. We want you to count yourself in, because there are times when Shay and I have counted ourselves in or out in this business, and it's made all the difference. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about tonight. So I need to know what I need to do. Okay. So here's the deal with getting these points. Okay. You're going to have this mindset and it's going to shape or form where you go this month, whether it's promotions, Winner Circle, leadership, it doesn't really matter. Okay. So also, if y'all have any questions too, let me know about this topic, because know that I made a graphic or whatever about this and like asking if y'all had any questions. So I have a couple from my team, but if anybody else has any from Shay's team, you can drop those in there in case we have time to go over those. I didn't have too much that I wanted to share on this. Honestly, I just kind of wanted to encourage you, like, when they've come out with stuff in the past, I'll just kind of give you my story. So when they came out with the first cruise, I don't think any of you were in this business because Shay wasn't in this business. And so none of her team was in this business. I don't know if anybody else has like been here, quit, came back, whatever. But this was like 2015. They came out with a cruise and I was a Ruby. I had just gone Ruby. And John O'Cole was on there. So I was Ruby. I was determined to get that cruise. And I didn't even know if I was close. Like, I didn't know what I needed to do. I just said, I'm going to give it my all because I've never been on a cruise. I cannot afford to take a vacation. So this is something that I need to go for. And if I get it, then I get it. If I don't, at least I worked as hard as I could for it. And I ended up earning it. And I was one of the only Rubies on that cruise. And people still talk about that. And they were like, I remember when you were a Ruby on that cruise. And I'm like, yeah, because I worked my tail off even then. And I want to remind some of you, because I know that we have some Rubies on here. And so don't count yourself out, because there are people that are not going to work as hard as you because they're complacent. because they're like, well, I'm a triple diamond. It's going to be handed to me. Like, I'm just going to get a coach's pick. And they're just a little too confident. And you're going to come in as a ruby and you're going to swoop in and you're going to take that spot. So Ashley says she's the ruby. Okay, so be that person. If you're the person that's thinking, man, I don't know if I can do this because I'm just a ruby, be the person that says, I'm a ruby and I'm going to get this promotion because I know that why wouldn't you go for it? Like, why wouldn't you go for winner circle? Why wouldn't you go for emerald? Why wouldn't you go for diamond? Anytime that they've ever dropped something like this, I've always said my goal is to give it everything I have, and if that's not enough, then I have nothing to be mad about. Yeah, so like, think about that whenever you're thinking about the winner circle or whatever promotion that you're going for. The next time that they had another promotion was, I think it was another cruise, and I think I was a diamond on that cruise. It was 2016, so I would have been a diamond. And that time I was like, I already did it once, I can do it again, you know? And so that's kind of like the thing that you're going to have whenever you do hit one of these goals. You're going to have that moment where you're like, I've already done it. I know I can do it again. Right? Like, if you're like, I've already gone ruby, I know I can help this girl go ruby. It's the same exact concept. So I want you to start earning these things, because then you're going to grow that confidence that, hey, if I did this once, I can do it again. So I got on that second cruise, and that changed my business. Like, the conversations I got to have, the people I got to surround myself with, it was absolutely crazy. And I had that intentional time and focus with people from corporate and being around people that have the same vision as me. Because how many of you right now are surrounded every single day on a day-to-day basis with people who just don't get it? Like, they don't get what you're doing. They don't understand why you're so excited. They don't know when you say, oh my gosh, I signed a customer, and you're with us, we're like, wow, oh my gosh, you know, like doing flips for you. Then whenever you say that in front of somebody else, they're like, what's a loyalty customer? Like, they're like, huh? Like, what does that mean? Like, it's a foreign language. So when you get around these people, they get what you get. They understand what you're going for. And one thing that I've never heard, and this is something that was like a game changer for me mindset wise, getting to these events, I'm just trying to cast vision for you of like why you need to get to things like this. Whenever I was there, first off, whenever I earned it, I was working 2 dead-end jobs with people who didn't really want to move up. Like, there are literally still people there's nothing wrong with being like a career waitress. I know a lot of people who do that, or bartender or whatever. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that at all. But the mentality that the people had that I worked with at the bar was just like, this is it for me. And they were even going to college, and they're like, this is just it for me. And so I go to that place now, and they're still working there. And it's people my age, you know? And so I'm like, don't you want more? Like, not that being a waitress is bad, like I said, not that being a career waitress is bad either, but they didn't care. They were just like so chill. Do you know what I mean? So whenever I went to things like this, like, I would tell them, oh, I'm going to quit my job. Oh, I'm going to earn a $22,000 bonus. And my boss at my job looked at me and he said, when this doesn't work out for you, just know that you'll always have a job here. That's what he said to me on my last day. Do you think I worked my tail off so I never had to go back to that job? Absolutely. I was like, I'm going to prove this dude wrong. And like, I mean, he meant it in a nice way. Like, we love you. Like, you ended on great terms. Like, we'll take you back. But I was like, when this thing doesn't work out, screw that. Like, what the heck? And so then I got around people at these events, and I told them, I'm going to go triple diamond. I'm going to retire my husband. I'm going to quit all my jobs. I'm going to pay, I'm going to build a home because of this business. And I told them all these things I was going to do. I was going to buy a Tahoe in cash. And they were like, yeah, go do it. Yeah, that's fine. Go do it. Oh, but you should also do this. And then they talk about like investing, and they're like, you need to dream bigger. Like, you're not even dreaming nearly big enough. Like, you get around people like Christy Christensen, and she's like, you're like, what in the world? Like, do I even make any money? I don't know. I don't think so. Like, you're so excited about the people that are around you because they want more for you, and they're never going to tell you that what you're going for is not good, that you're not going to be able to get that thing. Like, whatever it is, they're going to push you to go for it and to go bigger than that. And so that's what I love about just getting to these types of events. So I went to those 2 things, and then they announced Costa Rica. Okay. And this was 2019 that they went. So I think the whole contest was in 2019. So that was the year that I was like going through it. Some of you know that story, some of you don't. It's kind of irrelevant about this story. But basically, I was just growing a lot as a person in 2019. And I got very like, I just had to really dig deep in like why I'm doing this business and like refocus where I wanted to go and who I wanted to come with and who I wanted to be as a person and as a leader and all of those things. And some of you might have to go through that at some point. If you do, if you need some advice, come to me. I'm happy to talk about it. But one thing that I wish that I hadn't done is that they announced Costa Rica and they said it's for top 25 income earners. And the year before that, like that February, I was announced as the number 29 income earner. I'm trying to remember the years. 29 income earner. Couple months later, they announced and said top 25 get to go to Costa Rica. Wouldn't you think about that and be like, okay, I have a fighting chance. I should probably go for this. Yeah, flicking myself in the forehead now because I should have gone for it. But I didn't because I didn't believe that it was possible. I literally looked at that promotion, and Shay's going to talk about how she looked at that and was like, why the hell not? Let's go. But neither of us earned it. But I didn't earn it because I didn't even go for it. And some of you right now are looking at Winner's Circle and you're not even going for it. And there are going to be people who are a lower rank than you that are going to be there because they just said that they were going to do it. And they went all in and made it happen. Don't be that person. Don't be me after they announced Costa Rica and think, oh no. Like, what the heck? I should have gone for this. I wish that I, would have given it a little bit more of an effort because I probably would have been able to get it. And whether I did or whether I didn't doesn't matter. Shay has a different perspective on it because she didn't earn it, but she has nothing to be mad about because she did everything that she could and she still didn't make it. It just wasn't enough. I have every regret because I could have possibly hit it, but I didn't even try. So then I definitely wasn't going to hit it. I counted myself out and I looked at other people and I thought, if I was like them, then I would be able to do this. If I just made more money, then I would be able to do this. And some of that month, that period of time that we had to qualify, those are some of my lowest checks I've ever had. And it was because I had already counted myself out and I told myself that that's how it was going to be, that those were going to be my lowest checks, that I was not going to enroll as many people as I needed to, that I wasn't going to help anybody go Ruby because that was a qualification at the time for that. And I told myself that, oh, my team's not working hard enough for them to promote for me to get points. Right? Because that's another way we earn points for this too. How many of you have thought that? Like, oh, well, I can't pop a Ruby because nobody on my team is working. I want you to stop with the self-limiting beliefs because that held me back from going to Costa Rica. That held me back from even trying for it. So I know that you have these things that you're thinking in your head that like, this isn't possible because of this. This isn't possible because of this. But I always tell the people that are thinking about joining my team, they're like, well, what if I don't succeed? And I'm like, but what if you do? Because it takes just as much effort to believe that you can't as it does to believe that you can. And the two are going to have very different impacts upon your business and what you decide that you're going to do with your life. It's still the same even though you've already said yes. What if you don't get it? Well, what if you do? But what I can tell you is that the people that went to the premiere didn't get there because they were ambassador. They didn't get there because they were top 25 income earners. Yeah, that was a qualification, but there were also coaches' picks. There were 5 people who said yes to this opportunity to get on that premiere, and they gave it everything they had. I'm thinking about Evelyn. She's a triple diamond, and she was so nervous to be there. And once she surrounded herself with those people, she was like, oh my gosh, these people are so normal. If they can do this, I can do this. And I guarantee Evelyn is going to go at least presidential this year, if not ambassador, but she will be ambassador one day. Because of that trip that she went on, Not because anything was special, but because I saw her belief grow. From the first conversation that I had with her to the last conversation that I had with her, she was a different person. Her confidence was grown. Her belief was bigger. She knew that whenever she left there, she got to do whatever she wanted to do and that it was up to her. And this is up to you. But Evelyn she's on Christy Christensen's team, and she looked at Christy and she said, do you think that me getting 3 rubies personally enrolled is going to help me get to the premiere? Now, remember, the qualifications are different, okay? But I'm just giving you an idea. She said, do you think me popping 3 rubies is enough to get a coach's pick? Chrissy said, do 4. Do 4, or do 5, or whatever it was. So she did that many, and that's what it took to be a coach's pick. And she did it. She made it happen. 4 rubies in 1 month that were personally enrolled to her as a triple diamond. And she did that not because she's anybody special, not because she has something that you don't have, except that she has the grit, and she saw the vision and she went after it. And some of you counted yourselves out, and you might be a triple diamond too. And somebody was there at the same rank as you that just said, I'm going to do this and I'm going to go all in for it. So what I'm challenging you to do right now, go all in. Why would you not? Stop counting yourself out. And this goes for promotions too. Some of you on here promoted last month and you're like, okay, that was it. I promoted, all done. Like, I'm scared to try to go for it again because I don't want to get, like, I don't want to miss it. Like, I don't want to do all that work and then end up short. Anybody else feel that? I felt that before too, so that I was so scared that I didn't even try for it because I was just so nervous that I wasn't going to hit it and that it would all be for nothing. But how many of us have shot for a promotion, didn't make it, and then were really upset the next month at how close we were to our promotion then? Right? Like, you're not going to do all that work 1 month, miss it, and then be super frustrated that you, like, I mean, yeah, you're going to be sad that you missed it, but when you see your preliminary commissions, you're going to be like, still worth it. And whenever you see how close you are the next month to your promotion, still worth it, still worth the work that you put in, even though it was really difficult in the moment. And even though you missed your promotion, you would have definitely missed it had you not even gone for it. That's what I'm trying to get you to see is, like, you could miss it either way, but you'll definitely miss it if you don't even try. So some of you need to give yourself a little bit more credit. You are really hard workers, and you do not have to be the most talented. You just have to be the hardest worker. You get to pick that. You don't have to be the best at TikTok. You do not have to be the best at Reels. You don't have to be the best at social media. You don't have to be the best speaker. You don't have to be the best post writer. You just have to decide that you're going to outwork everybody. And I truly believe that that's one of the reasons why I got to the premiere. It wasn't because I'm the best at TikTok. I steal everybody else's. It wasn't because I'm the best at XYZ. It wasn't because I'm ambassador. It was because I decided that if nothing else, I will work harder than anybody else to get to this premiere. And I was willing to outwork everybody. You don't have to be the most talented. You just have to be the hardest worker. And that's something that you have control over. So that's my little spiel. So I'm going to kind of transition a little bit into some questions that we have, and then let Shay kind of reiterate some of the stuff that I said too. So I'm going to skip around on some of these questions really quick. I honestly did not read them beforehand, so we're just going to kind of go off the fly. Can you talk about the money aspect of it too? If you're making enough to be comfortable, but we do it for our teams, not just ourselves. I know we talked about this personally, but I think it would help others. Okay, so there's going to be a point in time, if you're not already there in your business, where you're making enough money to make ends meet, where you're like, I'm comfortable. Like, I don't really need to make more money, right? Like, you're like, I paid all my bills and I have some left over. I live very comfortably. I feel guilty going for more, or I don't feel like it's necessary to go for more. I'm cool just being here. Okay. So if there is that time in your life, whether you're going through it now or you're going to go through it in the future, here's what I want you to remember. The ambassadors that you see, Stephanie and Joel Dunn, they do not need more money. That's not why they're still working. They know that they joined this business to change their life, and they feel so strongly that it's their turn to change other people's life. It's not about us anymore. That's part of leadership, is that it's not about you. That's why you show up when you don't feel like it, right? That's why you show up whenever things are hard. That's why you show up to a coaching call that you're exhausted for. And you're like, I don't want to be here, but I'm here and I'm going to show up. And that's why we do those things, because we are leaders and it's not about us anymore. And so whenever you turn around and you realize, like, I get to help my team, I get to help change their life, and I'm not yellow. Okay, so this isn't like a yellow thing. If you're like, yeah, that does not compute with me because I'm not very yellow. I'm 7% yellow. Okay, so I don't naturally think, oh my gosh, let me help everybody. And that's where Shay and I are very different. She's super yellow and I am not at all. Yeah, I have a baby yellow heart. But so the thing is, though, is that I see potential in people before they see it in themselves, and that's where my motivation comes from. Because it's almost like I want to prove them right. Because I'm saying, you're going to be successful at this. See, I told you so. That type of a thing. And I'm like, you're changing your family's life one way or the other. So I'm going to help you do that. Whenever I see my paychecks every month, I want more because I've grown my vision past just being comfortable. God did not put you on this earth to just be comfortable. He put you on this earth to make moves. He put you on this earth to rock the boat a little bit, right? There's a quote, or there's a book called Not Safe by Mark Batterson. If you feel like you're struggling with this, go read Not Safe by Mark Batterson. It says something in that book like, God didn't die to, or Jesus didn't die to make you safe. He died to make you dangerous. So that's what you need to do whenever you're thinking, oh, well, life is just comfortable. Comfortability helps you. Abundance helps others. So if you're like, oh, well, I'm just yellow and I just want enough for me and I want to let everybody else have their own thing. No, you cannot pour from an empty cup and you cannot give from an empty wallet, sis. You are just barely getting by and you're comfortable. How much do you give every month? Not asking you to put in the chat. I'm asking you to ask yourself, how much do you give every month? And then ask yourself, do you want more? Because guess what? If you make $2,000 a month and you're tithing, my team and I talk about this. If you're not familiar with that, you can talk to your enroller, talk to Shay. But Shay tithes too. So if, let's say you make $2,000 a month, you get to give $200. That's 10%. Make $20,000 a month, you get to give $2,000 a month. So whenever I say we give more in a month than we used to make in a month, I'm not exaggerating that. We get to do those things and we get to change other people's lives because of this business, because I went for more. And yeah, we have a home, but guess what? We want another home. We want to do it as a rental property. We want to do it as an investment property. We want to be able to say, hey, we want a vacation in Arizona and go stay in our own house in Arizona or Florida or Montana. Like, we want to do those things, but you're not dreaming big enough. If you're struggling with dreaming bigger, go read the book, Magic of Thinking Big. I just threw out 3 random states. We looked at all 3 of those states, actually. But Montana be like, this cardboard box, $799,000. So, but we love Montana. So ideally, we'd like to do that. And I don't love the idea of Florida, honestly. Anyways, we're deciding where we want to go. But we are going to get a couple different places. And we know we want to do rental property. So you need money for that. And you have to have income coming in. And then you also have to be able to sustain that mortgage, even if you didn't have renters there or whatever. So dream bigger than you are. Like, are you living your dream life right now? Or are you just comfortable? Because God did not die to make you comfortable. He did not die to make you safe. He died to make you dangerous. So get bigger. Dream bigger. Go past where you are right now, because you are the lid on your team. If you say, oh, me living comfortable is good enough, then your team's going to do the same thing. And you wonder why your team isn't working. Because you capped them. You put a lid on them. Okay. Okay, hang on. Let's see. Okay. I'm skipping around, so I'm just going to get to the ones that I can get to really quick that I can answer, and then we can get to however many we can get to. All right, this one says subconsciously sabotaging yourself, because if you give it all you had and then some, you're scared at how you'll feel if you miss your goal. We kind of already talked about this, but wouldn't you rather look back at the end of the month and say, I gave it my all and I just missed it, but that felt really good? than to look back and say, I could have done a hell of a lot more. And I'm so sick of being in the exact same damn place that I'm in right now because I am so stuck and I'm so sick of not putting in enough effort and not completing my steps of success and not doing the same work that my team is doing and watching them all pass me, watching them ask for me to be a leader and to show up and show my leadership, and I don't do it. Which feels worse? You know what I mean? This is my red coming out, dude. Get over yourself. I love you enough to tell you to get over yourself. Who cares how you feel at the end of the month when you don't hit your goal? It's not about you. It's about your team. And you don't hit your goal when they don't hit their goal. So guess what? Last year, this happened to me, and that's why I can speak on this so passionately, because it's happened to me and it felt freaking awesome. I went for ambassador in May. Most of y'all were a part of that, okay? So we went for ambassador. We killed ourselves. We were up all hours of the night, and it was nuts. It was the most fun I've ever had. It was the most exhausted I've ever been. I enrolled so many new people. Everybody on our team was promoting. If you were on my team and you remember that, drop a little blurb about how you felt that month, okay? Like, was it exciting? Like, what did you promote to? Everybody was promoting. People were popping ruby and emerald and diamond and double, and people not even like, there were 400 boxes on my chart going emerald, and it was just nuts. Volume was through the roof, and everything was so fun. I missed my goal. I didn't go ambassador. Do you think watching Amber go ruby, Elisa go double, Emily go diamond, and I don't remember, I think you went diamond before that, but like watching Kelsey go diamond, watching Sarah promote to emerald, watching all these people promote, do you think after that I said, this doesn't feel good? I wish I hadn't worked so hard last month. I missed it. It's not about you. It's not about you. You have to start making it about somebody else, and then you take yourself out of the equation. And that's really whenever you remove the lid for your team, is whenever you say, I don't care what happens to me, as long as these people get to rise. When the tide rises, all the boats rise. It's just a matter of time when your E-Suite follows that. But your team has to promote for you to promote. So them promoting gets you closer to where you want to be. And I can tell you, watching these people get these paychecks that changed their family's life, that allowed them to buy RVs, that allowed them to bring their husbands home, that allowed them to be a stay-at-home mom. I never looked back at that and thought, that month sucked. Missed it. In fact, I forgot that I didn't hit ambassador. And you can ask Jenna and Rachel, because they were at my house that night, and they were like, oh, you didn't hit it, but you'll hit it next month. I was like, hit what? Oh, yeah, that's all right. This is so much fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's such a blast whenever you're working with your team and you're getting them excited and everyone's promoting, and there are so many people who, I already let her in, and there's so many people who are doing the things that they said that they wanted to do. Even if you miss it, you're closer than where you were before, but wouldn't you look back and rather say, oh, well, than what if? Right? So you have to get over that. You have to get over yourself. It's not about you, so stop holding yourself back, because when you do, you're being selfish and you're holding your whole entire team back. And that goes for the winner circle too. People on your team need to see you there so that they see it can be done. When you saw me and Shay at the premiere, that gave you that hope that, oh shoot, that can be done. Whenever people see you go emerald, they get to see it can be done. When you go diamond, double, ambassador, whatever, when y'all saw Shay go ambassador, didn't you feel like you could do it too? I know I did. That's why I went for it in May. I saw her in April. I was like, let's do it. Whatever. I don't even know what's happening. Papers are flying everywhere. We're just going to do it. We're going to make it happen. People need to see that. Stop holding yourself back, because it has a ripple effect and it doesn't just affect you. The most selfish thing you can do is hold yourself back just because you're fearful. Okay. That's all the questions. I mean, we have more questions, but I can let Shay talk. And then I asked my questions, or I asked my leaders questions. beforehand. So I
Yeah.
can back and answer those if we have time at the end.
Yeah, hi. I came in and you were spitting straight fire, so I was just gonna listen.
I got really fired up, sorry.
I was just gonna go grab my popcorn. Y'all know me. If you don't know, I freaking love newbie Zooms, and I just got off it and I'm sweating and my face is red and I just poured my whole soul into y'all's newbies, so you're welcome. Okay? That's what I did for the past 30 minutes, and I was like trying to finish it up and get on here because I was super excited. But I don't know what Morgan shared, so I may honestly repeat, but I think that's what happens is success leaves clues and we all say the same thing. And me and Morgan lead a lot the same. But I want to go back to a couple of weeks ago. I just started seeing all these things that our company was announcing and watching my leadership, and I'm sure Morgan feels the same, just automatically discount themselves from it. And just like, I could see their energy was off. And when I was asking, like, how do you feel about this? And how are you excited about this? It was like, there wasn't the excitement that I was feeling, that I was like expecting to come from my leadership. And I was like, if my leadership feels like this, imagine what my team feels like. And y'all know me, my little yellow soul. I was like, oh no. And I started to put myself in their shoes, and I started just feeling so like empathic and just feeling like, I know where you are. Okay. Me and Morgan have both been exactly where every single one of you are on this Zoom. And we've all honestly probably been in those places at different headspaces, both of us, between our journeys of being in the business, because they look so different. But I was sitting there trying to brainstorm, and I was like, how do I get into my leaders' heads and tell them that they've got to stop discrediting the things before they even try? Because when you discredit yourself, you're discrediting everyone on your team now. You're discrediting your own future self and goals, and you're also discrediting the potentials that are going to join you, that are watching your every stinking move. Whether you think they're watching or not, they are. And no, I did not steal this from Morgan. I bought this when I was in Michigan, and I wear it every day, literally. But I just really wanted to figure that out. And so I went to Morgan and I was like, we have to talk about this. Like, I feel like every leader on my team is in the same boat as far as not going after the things that scare them. And I'm like, if I have freaking taught my girls anything, it is that there is absolutely nothing holding you back. And I just got off a Zoom with 77 newbies on it. Hallelujah. 77 brand new distributors who are sweating through their shirts, and I'm sitting here telling them not to quit because there's so much coming for them. And you are where they want to be. Every single one of you are in a position that those brand new distributors would kill to be at. Our prelims posted today. Did you ever think that you would make that much money in your life from a business like this? Because you probably never thought you'd even do something like this. And now you're making commission from it. When you first started, you're like, let me see what happens. I don't know. And now you are where you used to pray to be. And so when it comes to those next levels of where you're praying to go, not necessarily where you are, but where you're praying to go, how many of you pray about where you want to be? You look forward to those next goals and you're like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. Why aren't you doing it? I didn't get to ambassador because 4.5 years ago, I said, I want to go ambassador. I said, I want to go ruby. Then I went ruby and I said, okay, I want to go emerald. Okay, and I charted myself for it, and then I did it. And then I said, okay, my next level is diamond. I'm going to go diamond. And I charted myself for it and I went diamond. And then I said, okay, I'm going to go double diamond. I'm going to chart myself for that. I'm still doing that. I got charted for presidential diamond today. Am I scared of it? Yeah. Am I still really far? Yup. Am I still really far from double ambassador? But my ultimate goal is to go double ambassador. I want to be double ambassador. Does that scare me? Yeah. I'm farther from double ambassador than every single one of you are from ambassador on your first account. That's how much volume I need. But I do know that if I want to do that, I have to do every step in between. I got to get charted for Prez. I got to get my dad charted for triple diamond. I got to get all my doubles charted. Then I got to actually go presidential. And then I got to chart for ambassador. Those are all, they're not baby steps, but they're baby steps to get me to where I want to go. Now, what is your next goal? Drop it in the chat. What are you wanting to do? Are you wanting to get charted for a promotion, hit a certain financial goal maybe? Maybe it's a savings account. Maybe it's not even a promotion right now. It's something that you can actually grasp. How are you breaking that down? Instead of looking at that and saying, oh, I can't go double diamond, I'm too far. Oh, shoot, I got really close, but I'm just really far. You know the things that you've already told yourself as to why you can't go triple, why presidential is too big for you, why double diamond isn't going to be in the cards for you in the next couple of months. Whatever that may be, if you discredit yourself from that now, you're never going to actually get close enough to where the goals beyond that. I know you have goals beyond that. You want to build a house, you want to buy a car, you want to be able to retire your husband, you want to be able to have a vacation home, you want to go on a vacation. I don't care what those things are, but there's even bigger goals beyond just the small stepping stones that you're trying to accomplish right now. Those will never happen if you can't handle the blessings God's trying to give you now that you're not fully grasping. And that goes with so many things in this business. I know that if I don't take the blessings that I have now with the new distributor that I got today, or with the customers that I enrolled today, or with the people that I'm trying to help go Ruby, if I don't help them get to those goals, I will never go to those goals that I want to go to after that. And if I discredit myself, what example am I setting for my girls? You know, I don't go, like, I didn't start my 2.0 and said, oh man, I can't wait to get an even bigger paycheck. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not super motivated by money. I don't go Presidential Diamond hoping to get another $20,000 in my commissions. At a certain point, it doesn't matter anymore. What matters to me is that if I don't keep going, guess what happens? My team doesn't keep going. That is my job as a leader. And you know me, I feel a conviction to help people. That's me. I'm a 2, I'm a yellow. I like through and through, I'm serving. That's my job. I'm the helper. That's what I do. That's how I work. Now, how do you work? What inspires you? Because if you're money motivated, that's great. That's still incredible for your team because you're showing them how much money can be made. If you're a servant, how can you serve other people in the process of you winning too? If you're super goal oriented, if you go after that goal, guess what you're doing? You're showing Abby she can do it. You're showing Emily she can do it. Kayla she can do it. Alyssa she can do it. Alex she can do it. That's what that means. And so I know that y'all are afraid of your goals. I'm scared of mine, and I'd be lying to tell you that I'm not. We can all sit there and act like we're just like, nope, I'm not scared of it. I'm ready. We're all a little bit scared. Okay. Sometimes I kind of sweat and I'm like, I kind of need to like, you know, sorry. And so when it comes to that, right, we're nervous, but you do it anyways. And one of my rubies, she was on a Zoom the other day and she said, you know what? You all got started in this business because you left fear at the door. Some of you are letting fear come back into your life instead of leaving it where it belongs at the door. We don't have time for fear. We don't have time of these things that are going to keep us from where we want to go. And so last year, actually 2 years ago, 2019, they announced Costa Rica. I was a Presidential Diamond when they announced this, barely maintaining Presidential Diamond. And I remember when they announced this, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go after this. Any of my OGs that have been on my team, I posted about it in my team page. I declared it on my social media. I was like, I am going to Costa Rica, okay? I may have been a little bit off my rocker to think that I could go to Costa Rica. Like now looking back at it, I'm like, what an idiot, dude. What an idiot. You could have never earned that trip. And I went after it. I mean, I was mass enrolling. I pulled out my ambassador tracker, put it in my team page. I shouted out Costa Rica every Zoom that we were doing. I'm like, I'm going to get us to Costa Rica, guys. Like, I believe it. I didn't even come close. Not even close, y'all. You know what I did do? I almost went ambassador. I had the highest paycheck I've ever had in the business, ever, that month. I enrolled some of my core leaders that are on my team right now. I gained belief in myself. I gained respect from my team because I went after a goal that scared them probably just as much as it scared me. And you know what that did? A year later, I earned the premier. If I wouldn't have gone after Costa Rica, I sure as hell wouldn't have gone after the premier because I wouldn't have known what it was like to go after something and fall short and still know that I could have done it. And even when they announced Premier, there was a small sliver of me that was like, who are you to think that you can be top 25 income earner? Like, what? There's no way. I'm not a top 25 income earner. I was number 50 at conference, and here I am trying to be number 25. But you know what? I earned Premier as a top 25 income earner in the top half of it. All because I said, I'm going to go after this goal, whether it scares me or not. And so whatever your Premier is, okay, that was my goal. But whatever your Premier is for you, that is how you should go after it. Is if you don't decide to go after this now, every goal that's beyond that, you'll never get there because you're discrediting yourself from that goal already to where the next ones after that don't work and you can't get there. And something else too is right now with the winner's circle. Some of you automatically, when you heard that, you were like, no, I can't do that. What? How many of y'all did that? Drop a 1. You're like, I can't go to the winner's circle. Like, hello, not me. I'm too small. I don't matter. Like no way. There were double diamonds announced on the family call as a top 10 distributor enroller. Double diamonds. How many of you are double diamond on here? Not maintaining, you're a lifetime double diamond. How many of you are on here that are double diamond? Do you realize that those double diamonds didn't get there because they counted themselves out? They didn't say they weren't good enough. They didn't say that, oh, I'm not maintaining. They didn't say, oh, this, oh, that. They are on that call because they knew they didn't count themselves out and they went after it anyways. And I guarantee you that some of them were hella shocked that their name got announced on that call. You want to know what else? When we got to Premier, there were triple diamonds that earned that Premier. Above ambassadors, triple diamonds at that thing. Why? Because they popped 4 rubies. They were popping promotions. And when I was talking to Evelyn, she was a triple diamond that earned it. She was like, I didn't even think for a second that I could go, but I wasn't going to say that I didn't try. And she was like, all I did was got out ruby charts and I started mass enrolling distributors and I made the decision that I was going to go, and she got to go. She rode in Mark's helicopter. She talked to Mark at the fireplace. She got to sit around all these incredible people, and that could be you. And even if it's not, even if you come up short and you don't earn winner circle, what about those distributors you get in the system that maybe take you to ambassador next year? What about those people that you inspire on your team because you went after it and they go presidential on your team next year? And then they're at the winner's circle next year with you. You don't even know what's going to happen from then on, but y'all just have to look at the bigger picture of, yes, you may not earn what is available on the table for you now, but the reason that they do that is to motivate the masses, to show you that you can do those things and give you the opportunity to do that. And the only people that earned those are the ones that were scared but did it anyways. And I don't know at what point we got into these positions of saying that we're too afraid or that we're too scared to go after things, because that's not what we're made to do. The Lord literally says it in the Bible that says, leave room for me. Do big things in your life so that you can leave room to say, I didn't do this on my own. He doesn't want you to try to control things or to try to do things in your own strength because you can't. That's the same thing that when I went ambassador, I didn't do that by myself. And quite frankly, our team didn't do that by ourselves. That was God giving us the opportunity and opening doors for us in order to make that promotion happen, to where I could say, it was all God. That's all I got for you. I don't have an answer. I don't know how we did that. I don't know how we pulled in that much volume or that many promotions. And that's the same thing for Morgan going ambassador. When she goes ambassador, she's not going to know how it happens. She's going to know that she didn't count herself out, that she went after it. Her team rallied with her and they said, if Morgan's going ambassador, I can too. And so I want you to stop putting yourself in a box and stop defining yourself to this one space that you can't seem to break out of, and know that you are highly, highly favored, and that God put this business into your life. And the reason you're on this leadership call is because you see those qualities within yourself. It's just sometimes we get a little jaded and we forget that they're there. And we forget our purpose and our calling and what we're here for, and the amount of influence that we have and the amount of inspiration that we hold to our teams and our downlines. And so some of you, you're missing pieces that you just keep counting yourself out of everything to where your team doesn't even know where you're going. They can't rally with you because you're not even rallying with yourself. You say, I'm going double diamond, woohoo! And then you don't ever actually do the things that make you a double diamond. You need to walk like a diamond, talk like a diamond, act like a diamond in everything that you do if you're not there yet. If you want to go triple diamonds do not sleep till 11, never get their host to post up, never show up to leader Zooms. They show up in every way. A triple diamond leader is literally the top 1% of the company. Do you think that they get there barely and just hang on by a thread and just barely get there as a triple diamond? No. They stroll up and say, I'm a freaking VIP and I got here because I walked like one, I talked like one, I've acted like one, even long before I actually promoted. So whatever it is that you're going for, stop counting yourself out because you're never going to get closer, and start walking and acting as if you're already there.
Oh. Guys, if you got something out of this Zoom so far, go ahead and drop a 2 in the chat. Because what we want you to realize is, like, I was talking, Shay, about, like, whenever they announced Costa Rica, how I didn't go for it because I knew you would talk about how you did go for it. Neither of us hit it, but Shay felt a whole lot better afterwards than I did. When they announced it, I didn't even listen for my name. She listened for her name. And she said, man, I probably just barely missed it. I knew that I had missed it by a long shot because I didn't even go for it. Don't be that person. Don't be me in that situation. And that's the thing is, like, Shay went for Premier because she went for Costa Rica. I went for Premier because I didn't go for Costa Rica. And I said, never again will I feel that way. Never again will I count myself out for something that I don't even know if I could hit or if I couldn't. Because why wouldn't I go for it? And we know the potential that all of you have inside of you. If we didn't see the potential in you, we wouldn't have these Zooms to try to help you grow in that potential that you already have that exists inside of you. But because we see that, we're like all but begging you, please go after this. There's so many different things that are going to happen because of it. Not only is your belief going to grow, like I was saying Evelyn's did, she grew as a person. I was saying this, and Shay can probably like attest to it too, but I was telling them before you got on that the first conversation I had with Evelyn and the last conversation were completely different. That girl was a different human when she left. She was like, I got this. I'm an ambassador too. Let's go, girls. Come on. Like, she was like all about it. So that's going to happen for you. You're going to get around people who are going to make you better, not the people that you're around maybe right now that you rub shoulders with on a day-to-day basis who are more negative, who aren't the people that encourage you and inspire you to dream bigger and go after more. You're going to get that there.
I want to share this about Evelyn. So Evelyn, I want to share this about Evelyn. So when Evelyn walked in, she was in the corner with her husband. And we were all like, we need to go talk to her because she probably feels like an outsider. And so we all go like have many conversations with Evelyn. So shy, so quiet. This poor Evelyn girl would probably die if she knew we were talking about her on our leader Zoom right now. But she was so quiet and so shy. And guess what she did the next month? She went and popped a triple diamond. I literally got tears in my eyes when I saw that she posted that in our VIP page that she popped a triple diamond, because she literally was so shy, felt so unqualified when she got there. She was like, I don't even know how I earned this, and popped a triple diamond last month. And she's going presidential and ambassador this year. She's already set up for it. That's what happens when you get around people and you don't count yourself out.
It's crazy. Big things happen. Like, you can do this. She could have counted herself out too. It wasn't because she got there by rank or even by top 25. She could have looked at that and said, I'm just a triple diamond. Nobody knows who I was. Because we all looked, we were like, who is Evelyn? Like, we don't know who she is. And you could have thought that too. Like, nobody knows my name. Nobody knows who I am. I'm just an outsider. Like, it can't be me. Why can't it be you? Because at one point it wasn't me either. At one point it wasn't Shay either, until one day we decided, hey, it's going to be me. I just started singing in sync in my head. Anyways, till you started thinking it's going to be you, it's not going to be. Okay, I can't. Shay, you say something else, because I'm just singing in sync over here because I'm super distracted.
Well, and I talk about this literally every leader Zoom, and y'all know me because I share it every time, but nothing sucks more than watching wasted potential, than watching those people on your team that just don't get it. Literally just don't get it. And I'm like, if you just open your eyes to seeing what you have in front of you and the opportunities that you have and the place that you're in, like, good golly, Moses, we prayed for this. And I just want to sometimes grab you by your shoulders and shake you and just say, dude, run like the wind already. You could have been diamond 747 months out of the last 748 that we've had. You could have already done it by now if you would have said, you know what? I don't know how, but I serve an amazing God. I have an amazing team. I'm just going to tell you, you're literally on two of the best teams in the whole company. You should take pride in that, and the fact that we have resources for you. We have leadership for you. We're recognized not for just the work that we didn't get here by ourselves. We got here because we've never counted ourselves out. And we said, you know what? I'm doing this for my team. When I get announced on the family call, it doesn't fill me up in the way of like, I mean, yes, I love words of affirmation, but I'm like, my team sees me on there. Every time me and Morgan, literally, I can tell you how many conversations we've had. We always say, my team needs to see me on that. My team needs to see me promoting here, because you have to watch your leader do it, sometimes to borrow that belief. And so I promise you guys, as much as you think your team doesn't care, when you stick to it and you rally, and not only once, but you continue to rally and continue to lead from the front and take charge, they will follow. I know what it's like to have a dead chat and a team page that nobody posts in and nobody says anything, and you feel super discouraged and uninspired and like a really shitty leader. I've been there. I've had those moments, but it was because I made a decision and I kept making it. I kept showing up. I kept leading from the front. I did everything I knew to do to keep leading from the front, and people began to follow. It took a while. It did. I promoted super fast, and then I crashed and burned for 11 months. Those 11 months were not great for me. Not great. But I just kept going, and I kept going, and I went double alone pretty much with a couple people. It's Cheyenne and Kate on my team pulling in a couple customers, you know, here and there, and then a newbie here and a newbie there. And then it was like Cheyenne took off and Kate took off, and then I enrolled Kayla and then Sam, and then all my leaders just came from me doing that one thing. It's kind of like if you push a snowball down the hill. Snowball only continues to grow from the things you did at the top all the way to the bottom. And so I promise you, that moment that you flip that switch and make that decision, your team will follow. But maybe they're just used to you flipping that switch and then turning it right back off, and then flipping it on for a couple of weeks and then flipping it right back off. And if you know If you feel guilty that I'm talking about you, but address it and figure out how to keep the switch on all times, lights on in the building, so your team can always know that they have a space to go and a person to follow and a leader that is their foundation. How many of y'all heard the song Bones? Okay, you can't build a house on a foundation that's broken. It has to be strong, and you are that foundation.
And just a couple things off of what Shay said too, just because we have a couple minutes. One thing that she said is like the worst thing to see is wasted potential. How many of you sign distributors and I know this has happened, I think everybody, where you sign somebody and you're like, oh, yes, this is my next ambassador. And then they ghost you and join the witness protection program and you're like, you have so much potential. What the heck? Why are you not doing this? Like, oh my gosh, I swear I've signed like 18,000 Ashley Sinclairs and they ghosted me. And I was like, don't we hate that? That's you when you don't go after these promotions. That's how we feel. Because we see that much potential in you, and then you're like, nah. Right? Even if you're going for it, you're not actually going for it. And there's a difference. And we can see the difference. And then the other thing I was going to say is, like Shay said, you have to be that consistent, like show up, do all the things, like your team needs to see you, blah, 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 whatever, like that whole spiel. One thing I was going to say about that is think about how much you respect Shay. And this is for even my team too, because I know that they respect you too. How much you respect Shay. Why do you respect her? Do you know that if you call her, she's going to be there? Do you know that if you go look at her Instagram and her Facebook right now, there's something about this business on there? Or she's shown up, she's made a reel, she's made a TikTok, she's gone on her story, she's signing customers, she's getting distributors, she's doing what she's telling you to do. Don't you respect her for that? Now, think about how much differently or less you would respect her if she did that twice a week. And you didn't know if she'd be there. You didn't know if you'd have a team Zoom on Sunday nights, because if you're on her team, that's when yours are. New distributor training every Thursday? Nah, once a month, maybe, but it's different every week, and we don't know if she's going to be there. Is Shay going for her next promotion? I don't know. We haven't talked to her in 2 weeks, and she hasn't posted anything on Facebook. Do you think you'd respect her the same? But I want you to think about, if you're person B, how much more your team will respect you when you become person A. And the reasons why you respect Shay, you can choose that too. You don't respect Shay because she looks a certain way or she posts a certain way. You might feel inspired by that, oh my gosh, her posts are awesome, I want to post like that. Okay, well, do it. Get better at it. Practice it. But you're inspired by who she is as a person and the character that she has and how she shows up. You get to choose that. That's not a skill. You can choose to show up too. And then you would have the same effects. You would have the same benefits of the respect from your team. So I just thought about that whenever you were talking. Is there anything else that you want to say before we switch over? Also, if y'all didn't see the chat or if you weren't on here before, if anybody on Shay's team wants to stick around, you or invite your team or whatever, if y'all want to get on the Zoom, we're just going to talk about signing distributors. So feel free to invite your teams, post it on your pages, chats, whatever. I just wanted to let y'all know.
Yeah, I think that we crushed it. I can't think of anything else to say other than freaking do it. Go for it. You're gonna be afraid, period. You already know that. It's a speed bump you're already gonna have to get over, but just do it for the love of all things holy, okay? Mark will know your name. He will know your name if you keep saying that he will. That was one of my first goals. Mark will know me. Marky Sparky will know me. He will know me. And he does, because I kept putting myself out there every single day. Every family call, I'm on it, hyping it up, okay? I don't like it when people don't show up to the family call. I'm like, how are you going to know what's going on? Always on the family call. Want to know why my name's on there? Always in the know of what's going on. And I'm like, okay, I'll go after it. Sure, sign me up. Winner's circle, Katie Bevington's in front of me. Heck no, not for long. Like, that's how I work. I'm always just going for that next thing, even when it's scary. So I'm going to share that graphic you sent me, Morgan, in the stuff so that people can get on it.
Perfect. All right. So this is officially the end of the Leader Zoom. I'm going to stop the